Sheila Birling. At the beginning of Inspector Calls, Sheila is a naive, slightly silly young woman excited by her recent engagement to Gerald Croft. The stage direction suggests as much, establishing Sheila as a happy but unworldly character. By the play's end, she will be a very different person indeed. Before the inspector's arrival, Sheila's having a good time. As far as she's concerned, she's about to marry the ideal man in Gerald, and her future looks rosy. However, there are some indicators of all not being well, which foreshadow later events. First of all, Sheila makes a reference to how Gerald never came near her the previous summer, whilst in his so-called speech, Eric makes a dig at her nasty temper. Her assertion that, now I really feel engaged, once she is actually wearing an engagement ring, suggests a materialistic outlook, echoing her parents' obsession with appearances. Nevertheless, when she hears about Eva's death, particularly the manner of it, she is genuinely shocked and upset, albeit a little selfishly, because it's ruined her mood. How inconvenient. This contrasts with her father's and later her mother's insincere reactions. Tellingly, before a connection with Eva is revealed, Sheila shows signs that she's capable of being more empathetic and understanding of others' situations. Sheila's upset turns to anguish, though, when she learns of her involvement with Eva, and that she partly bears responsibility for Eva's suicide. Here, her regret is heartfelt and, again, contrasts with Mr. Birling's refusal to take any responsibility. She acknowledges that her actions in getting Eva sacked from her job as a shop assistant were spiteful and fuelled by a combination of anger and jealousy. In fact, Sheila is in danger of taking too much responsibility, blaming only herself when Mr. Birling and later the others are just as culpable. Sheila shifts her thinking to such an extent that she almost becomes the inspector's assistant, encouraging Gerald and her mother to make a full confession of their dealings with Eva. Intuitively, she understands the inspector's purpose, and rather than resisting, she embraces the chance for change. She is also the first character to sense that the inspector isn't all that he appears to be. Sheila's growing maturity can be tracked in her changing language. For instance, at the start of the play, she refers to her parents as Mummy and Daddy, which are labels commonly used by young children. However, as the play progresses and Sheila accepts the need to be more responsible, she only uses Mother and Father. Furthermore, Sheila doesn't just learn about herself, but also about the real world. Her rose-tinted view of love is darkened by Gerald's affair with Eva/Daisy, and she gains an insight into how hard life is for millions of ordinary working-class women, not fortunate enough to come from the same privileged background as herself. Like her brother Eric, Sheila refuses to take any real comfort from the revelations about the inspector being a hoax. Indeed, she insists that it doesn't make any difference because they all still acted irresponsibly and selfishly and did what they said they did. Crucially, she focuses on the message rather than the messenger. With support of Eric, Sheila tries to educate her parents by challenging their narrow-minded attitudes, but with little success. Nevertheless, along with Eric, she rebels against her parents' authority, making her disappointment with and shame of them very clear. Consequently, a clear generation gap opens up in the Birling family, with the older parents set against the younger children. In this way, Priestley is making the wider point that any future progress in society lies with the younger, not the older generation. In other words, it's time for a real change.